What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sierra, and today I thought I would share with you guys the do's and don'ts of buying things for college, whether it be for a new apartment, if you're a freshman, a new dorm, or if you're moving out and it's your last year and you still don't know what the heck you're doing. I thought that I would make this video for you guys because it has been almost a year and a half since I graduated from the University of South Carolina, and I learned a lot in those 3 years, and now I'm missing it more than ever. I'm having a slight midlife crisis, identity crisis, whatever you want to call it, because I just want to be in college so bad. I'm seeing all these back to school videos, and I just wish that I had started my YouTube channel when I was in college because it would have been so much more fun. But since I'm here now, I thought that I would give you guys all my tips and tricks. I lived in several different style apartments and houses and all the things. My first year, I lived on campus in a suite style dorm with 3 other people, so I had my own room, thank God. But I did share a bathroom with one person, and then I also shared the living area and like the kitchen or whatever with 3 other people. I got super lucky with that I had my own room. I didn't have to share with anyone because God knows that I could not have shared a room with someone. I really just couldn't have. My second year, I had an apartment that was off campus that we rented with 3 other girls, and I had my own room for that too. It was furnished and all that good stuff, so I didn't have to worry about that. My third year, I moved into a rental house with 2 other girls, and it was completely unfurnished. We had to bring everything ourselves, and it was just a lot. So I've learned a lot of things in my 3 years and my 3 different experiences. I've taken online and in-person classes at the University of South Carolina as well as my community college at home. So I like to say I'm a pretty well-rounded student in the aspect of how I took classes, where I lived, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm making this video for you guys that just don't have it figured out or just need a little bit of guidance. So without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Okay, so my chair is squeaky, so I apologize if you hear it, but I'm moving around a lot. So I'm gonna start with the things that I don't recommend buying or bringing or anything like that, because there's a lot of things I do recommend bringing, and honestly, if I thought about it, I could probably think of a lot more things you don't need. But these are like my top 3. Do not do it. Don't bring it. Don't spend your money on it. All the things. So the first thing I would recommend not doing, and I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory, but if you're new and you fall into the trap when you get the email of all your textbooks are ready and you need to buy them from the school bookstore, don't do that. Don't do it, because you're gonna waste your money. I would recommend going to class on the first day, kind of seeing what the teacher's like, seeing what the class is like, because a lot of times you'll go to class the first day and they'll either say you don't need the textbook, or it's not required, or you don't even like the class and you end up dropping out of it and going to a different class. So why waste your money on a textbook that you don't need? Also, the bookstore is gypping you out of your money. They're gonna charge you so much money for books that you don't need, and a lot of times you can literally share a textbook with someone, or you can join a Facebook group for your college and people will be selling used textbooks for so much cheaper. I've also bought them on Amazon. I bought them off of Abe Books. I bought a lot of my books off of there. I will link all of those in the description for you guys. The bookstore is just a joke. Unless it is a book that has an access code that you must have to do your homework, do not pay full price. Do not buy a brand new textbook because you don't need it, okay? Okay. The second thing I would recommend is do not buy the full meal plan if you don't have to. So my freshman year, we had to have a meal plan, but we did have different levels of it. So the first one was 10 meal swipes a week, second was 14 meal swipes a week, and the third was 21 meal swipes a week. So you only have that many for the week, or at least that's how it was at my school. And I started out, I was like, I live in an apartment, suite style, that has its own kitchen. I don't cook a lot, but I probably won't eat breakfast. So I don't need 3 meals a day. Like, just to be honest, I don't eat that many meals a day now. So I didn't get the 21, but I did get the 14 meal swipes a week my first semester. And even that was too many, because you can only use it at certain places and they get old really, really, really fast. And a lot of times people are in a hurry and you don't want to wait in the line or whatever it may be. And then once the week is over, if you haven't used them, you don't get to roll them over to the next week. So I definitely recommend do not buy the full meal plan unless you absolutely eat all the time and all kinds of stuff like that, because it's really just not worth it. My second semester, I only did the 10 meal swipes a week, and that was so much better for me because I didn't feel like I was wasting food. I didn't feel like I was required to get 3 meals a day or however many, and it was just so much better. So those 2 things I recommend not spending the money on. The next thing I'm gonna go to is bringing with you from home. So I was kind of looking through things because there wasn't a whole lot that I thought about that I was like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have brought that, because I was very minimal in the things that I brought, like TVs, things like that. You don't really need stuff like that, but if you want it, then bring it. But I will say you do not need to bring like a crap ton of clothes, because that was my mistake. I brought a lot of like nicer clothes I could dress up in, but the truth is I wore Nike running shorts and a t-shirt every single day. So literally you only need like 10 t-shirts and some shorts and maybe 1 or 2 nice outfits in case you have like a presentation or a job interview or something like that. Obviously, if you're in a sorority or a fraternity, then it's going to be different because you are going to have to dress up a little more for that. But unless you're in one of those things or you get a job or an internship where you have to dress up every day, there is absolutely no point because no one knows who you are. Why do you need to dress up and be fancy? Because no one else is dressing up and being fancy, and it just wastes space because you don't have that space to store all those nice clothes. Like, you have a couple drawers and a dresser and like a closet this big. So it's really not worth it to waste all that space on stuff you're literally never gonna wear. And that also goes into, don't bring clothes that are out of season. Of course, there are some students that don't have the ability to go home throughout the school year, but I was lucky enough that I was only 2 hours away. I went home very frequently, and it was hot 90% of the school year or where I went to school. So I didn't need sweaters and jeans and big jackets and things like that. But once winter came around and the cooler season came around, I could just go home and bring that stuff back with me. I recommend not bringing all different seasons of clothes unless you absolutely don't have the choice to go home and get different stuff or have it shipped to you or whatever the case may be. Don't bring it because, like I said, it wastes space and you don't have any space to spare. Trust me. Honestly, there were some times that I would wear the same outfit 2 days in a row because I had different sets of classes on like Monday and Tuesday, and no one knew who I was, and I wasn't out long enough to get the clothes dirty. So just don't waste your time. And if we're being honest, you don't need a dog either. They're super expensive. They tear up all your stuff and you really just don't have the time for them. But that's a story for another time. So moving on to the things that I think you should bring or should buy or splurge on or whatever you want to call it. First one I would recommend to literally anyone, no matter how good you think you are at managing your time or staying organized, buy a planner, okay? Buy a monthly calendar planner, a weekly planner, whatever works best for you. I personally used a monthly planner because then I could see everything, color coded it per class, like each class had a different color. I would go through my syllabus and I would write on the dates that things were due. I would write all my assignments, and it was so easy to keep up with. I wasn't forgetting things. I wasn't constantly having to check my school website to see when I had stuff due, all this kind of stuff. Get a planner. It will change your life, okay? It will change your life, and I mean that wholeheartedly. And they're so cheap. You can literally buy them on Amazon for like $7. It's so worth it. Just buy the planner. The next thing I would recommend is a good laptop, and I know that a lot of people probably don't have money to splurge on like a MacBook or something like that, and I was lucky enough to receive one as a gift, but I would seriously recommend don't just buy the cheapest one you can find unless that's your only option. Search around, find a used one, something, but I absolutely love my MacBook. I've had it since I graduated high school. I'm now about to be 22 years old and I still use it. It's still up and running, and it's so easy to use and keep all your stuff on there, and you don't have to worry about it slowing down or losing all your documents or anything like that. So definitely invest in a good laptop so that you don't have to freak out if something goes missing. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about it taking forever to load or anything like that. Just get a good laptop. Along with that, if you're going to spend money on a laptop, you need to make sure that you're not just carrying it around like a potato sack, because you need to have it protected, because again, you spend all this money on it, you want it to last. The next thing that I recommend is a book bag with a laptop case. Mine, I don't have it anymore, or I would show you guys. I'm gonna try to find one on Amazon and I will link it down below and show it on the screen right here. But it had like a zipper pouch and it was super thin. It was just for my laptop, and it was like insulated and waterproof in that specific spot, so when it would rain or if I would sweat, like my laptop would be protected and I didn't have to worry about it. It was also a little bit cushioned, so if I just threw my book bag down on the floor for whatever reason, I didn't have to worry about it breaking or anything like that. Definitely recommend a good backpack along with the backpack having the laptop case. Mine had like one big pocket, and then it had the smaller pocket on the front that you could put like pens and pencils. It had a little mesh zipper, things like that, and then it also had another one on the front, a little zipper pouch. I absolutely loved that book bag. I believe I got it at Target. I'm gonna see if I can find it, but I don't think that they have it in stock anymore because I got it when I was a freshman. But yeah, you definitely need a good book bag that you can fit all your stuff in. You don't want to have to worry about it breaking or anything if you shove it full of books and binders and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you're getting one that has plenty of space and isn't bad quality so that it doesn't break on you. Another recommendation for the book bag is make sure it has the little pockets on the side like for water bottles, and I would recommend getting an umbrella specifically for your book bag and just keep it in one of those water bottle pockets, and then you can have the other one for like actual water bottles and things like that. But where I lived, it was always hot and you never knew when it was gonna rain. They would have like little pop-up showers all the time. So I definitely recommend keeping an umbrella on your book bag or in your book bag at all times, because you never know what's gonna happen and nobody wants to get stuck in a rainstorm, okay? Because that is frustrating, and then you walk into class and you're soaking wet and you look like a fool. So carry an umbrella with you at all times. You never know what's gonna happen. Another thing that I feel is pretty obvious, especially if you're living in a dorm, is a mattress topper, and I kind of made the mistake of getting like a cheap one, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it, and I wish that I would have, but I just didn't even worry about it. My bed was just uncomfortable. It wasn't the worst, but it definitely could have been better. I just got one that was rolled up. It was like the kind of like not styrofoam, but like memory foam, and it looked like little eggshell holder things. I don't know if that makes sense, but it like got little divots in it from me laying on it, and I would have to rotate it and do all kind of stuff so that I wouldn't be like sinking down in the middle. So I definitely recommend getting a thicker one. They are going to be a lot more expensive, but it's definitely worth it because those dorm room beds are the worst. The absolute worst. Like, they're basically like prison beds. I've never been to prison, but that's what I imagine them being like. So get a mattress topper and spend the money on it to make it one that is going to save your back, because I'm wholeheartedly convinced the reason I have back problems now is because of that dorm room bed. You can't convince me otherwise. Another thing that saved my life my freshman year was a card holder that attached to the back of my phone. I don't use one anymore, but they look like this. I got a free one like the first week of school, and then they just kept giving them out, so you'll probably be lucky and get them, but if not, definitely buy them on Amazon. They're so worth it, and I didn't have to carry around a purse all the time. I'm not the kind to carry around a purse anyway, but I put my debit card, my license, and then I put my school ID card, and I also carried my key in there because I didn't want to have to carry around a big keychain and worry about losing it, and I know that I would never lose my phone. Like, my phone is on me at all times, so that was a lifesaver. And then a lot of times, like if my hand was full and I had my card on the back, we had to use it to get into our dorm, I could just hold my phone up and I didn't have to worry about getting my wallet out to get the card out and all this stuff. I could just like have it in my side pocket of my book bag and just like lean it up against there, and it was good to go. So that makes it super easy to be able to get all your stuff. It's easier to carry a phone around with a little thing on the back than a whole purse or a wallet or whatever, and then you don't have to worry as much about losing it unless you just lose everything. When you live in a dorm, they don't let you use nails to hang things on the wall, and even sometimes in like rental properties or on like off-campus apartments, they don't let you use nails to hang stuff in the wall because they don't want the holes in the wall. So I used command hooks, and a lot of people say, oh well, my stuff still falls down, and I will say that you kind of have to like overdo it. You can't just put one on there and call it a day, but I used them. I even used them on this thing that I hung in the hallway of our house. Basically, you just put them together. You put one on the wall is what I did, and then I put another one and they velcro together, and I put them one on each edge of the canvas or wall art or whatever it was that I was hanging up, depending on the size. I also used it on my mirror that went on my door, so I put one at the top, one at the bottom, and then I think I put two on each side just to make sure like it's not gonna fall. It might cost a little bit more money to get all of those command hooks, but at least your stuff won't fall and break, and you're not putting holes in the wall so you won't get charged, things like that. So definitely use command hooks, but don't be sparing about them. Use a lot so that it doesn't just like rip off the wall and break your stuff, because that's annoying. My freshman year, I did not have a lot of storage in my suite style apartment. I was very lucky to have my own room, like I said, but we didn't have a lot of storage. We literally had one dresser that was tiny. It was definitely smaller than this one right here, and it only had like 4 drawers, I think, and then we had a desk that had like little small drawers on it, so I didn't have a lot of space to put my clothes or my random things that I took that I knew I was gonna need, but they weren't closed. So I used a nightstand. I used one that looked like this. It was a different color and it came from Walmart, but this was a lifesaver. I also used this exact one under the counter in the bathroom because we did not have drawers in our bathroom. So I used this to put like my makeup, my toothpaste, my deodorant, all the things that I use on a regular basis that I didn't want to clutter up the counter with. So I use these. You can get them at Walmart. They're super cheap, super easy to like transport and things like that. So I used one as a nightstand, and then like I said, I used one in the bathroom to hold all my stuff because you really don't have enough room to have like a legitimate sized nightstand. And as you can see, I even used it. I still use it now as a nightstand because it's just easier, takes up less space, and I can fit all kinds of stuff inside of it. So I would definitely recommend getting one of these. I will try to find them and link these down below as well because they're easy storage and they don't take up a lot of space and they match basically anything. So definitely recommend getting one of those to hold all your extra crap that you don't use on a regular basis or that you just don't have room for. Another thing that I didn't really think about in the moment of buying college things was buying like a good hamper or laundry basket. So I did get a good laundry basket, and it collapsed and it went under my bed, so it didn't take up a lot of space. So definitely recommend that. I believe it came from Target, so it would like literally smush down to like this size, and I could just slide it under my bed when I wasn't using it, so it took up a lot less room. But I had this hamper, and it's just a mesh like hamper, and it worked fine, but it was very flimsy, and when it would get full and I would have to take it to the laundry room, I was on the the 3rd floor and the laundry room was on the 1st floor. So by the time I would get it to the elevator, get it all the way down and get it to the laundry room, I would feel like it was like gonna break. So I would get a bigger one or a sturdier one, or just carry everything in your laundry basket depending on how dirty your clothes are or how much you care about them being in the same thing once they get clean. But this one, like, it worked, it served its purpose, but it was very questionable at times on whether or not the handles were gonna break. I had to carry it by like the little side handles instead of the like flappy handles because they would not have withheld all that stuff inside of it. I would get a one that it might be a little heavier, but at least you can like drag it across the floor and not worry about it like ripping or anything like that. So definitely get a good hamper, especially if you want a collapsible one. That saved me so much space, so easy to use. And yeah, get yourself something good to put your clothes in, because you don't want it to just like rip out the bottom and then all your clothes are all over the dorm, because that's embarrassing. And then you never know who's gonna come up and steal your crap, because it happens, let me just tell y'all. As far as clothes go, I know I already mentioned a lot of t-shirts and shorts and like not dressy stuff, but I would recommend bringing one pair of like good walking shoes. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I took my Birkenstocks and they were not broken in yet, and I had blisters all over my feet. I was literally walking like 5 and 6 miles a day, and my feet would kill me at the end of the day. So even if they're not the cutest shoes or whatever, I would definitely recommend taking shoes that are comfortable, that you know you can walk for long periods of time in, that aren't going to give you blisters, because it's so frustrating. You literally walk everywhere, and it's fine if your feet don't hurt, but mine always did. So once my Birkenstocks were broken in, then it was fine, but until that point, it was a nightmare. It was a literal nightmare. So bring good shoes to walk to class in. They don't have to look nice or anything, but they need to be good walking shoes, whether they're tennis shoes or something else. They need to be comfortable, because you're going to be walking here, there, and every freaking where, and you want to be comfortable. And along with that, I would recommend bringing a pair of shoes that you don't really care too much about. They can still be comfortable, whatever. But if you plan on going out, like we had like bars and things like that we would go out to. If you plan on going to that, or parties or football games or anything like that, take shoes that you don't give a crap about, because they're gonna get destroyed. I will show you my Converse right here. This is what they look like now. They were bright white when I took them to school, and now they are not. They're disgusting, because you'll step in puddles. Like even just when it rains, you'll step in mud puddles, you'll step in rain puddles. People will spill food on you, people will spill drinks on you, people will step on you because you're in crowded spaces and all this stuff, and it's just not worth it. Like someone will walk by in the food hall and spill ketchup on your shoe or something. Take shoes you don't care about, because they're gonna get dirty and you're gonna be pissed off when your good shoes are ruined just because they were cute and completed your outfit. Nobody cares about your shoes, okay? Just take some crappy ones, because they're gonna get ruined. And then the last thing that I recommend, especially if you are moving off campus into an apartment or a house or something like that that does not come furnished. I feel like this is self-explanatory, but buy used furniture, especially if you live in a college town like I did. There was a Facebook group that we used. People were graduating, selling all their furniture, doing all kinds of stuff, and we got a whole living room set for like $300, and we just split it between the 3 of us, and then we sold it again when we moved out. So do not spend a whole lot of money on brand new furniture, because it's either one, not gonna get used unless it's like a bed or a mattress, because you can take that with you, but like a whole living room set, none of us were gonna take that with us. So we just bought it cheap. It was not the cutest thing in the world, but who cares? You're in college, it's gonna barely be used anyway. If it does, it's probably gonna get dirty. And then we had a dog, so everything was dirty all the time. There was footprints on it all the time, so there was no reason for us to spend a crap ton of money on furniture that none of us were gonna keep. The only thing that I bought that wasn't used was my bed frame and my mattress, because mattresses are a little weird. You probably don't want to buy a used mattress unless you know who it's coming from. But other than that, everything in my room was used. My dresser, as you can see here, it's not the cutest thing in the world. It's got a lot of stuff wrong with the top of it, but I literally found this on Facebook Marketplace for $10. It was like falling apart. My mom painted it and put new knobs on it and spray painted it, and it was good to go. And I did not have to spend a lot of money, and it served the purpose just fine. So I definitely recommend buying used furniture as much as you can. So those are my do's and don'ts of buying and packing and all the things for college. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.